Kaepernick taking a knee, along with the words there you see him at the bottom of your screen, the perilous fight, taken, of course, from the national anthem. Well, the 49ers quarterback has been kneeling during the anthem during every game since the preseason. Now, this is a silent, but many say powerful protest against police violence and racial inequality. And across the nation, it's gaining some traction. Joining me now is the writer of the Time cover story, Sean Gregory. Sean, good morning to you.
Good morning.
First, tell me about, this isn't Sports Illustrated, right? This is Time Magazine. How and why did Colin Kaepernick end up on the cover?
Because he started a movement. I mean, in August 26th, he first sat for the national anthem. You saw NFL players follow in the first regular season game. And after that, we saw high school teams in football and volleyball. We even spoke to a middle school team in Texas where 11 and 12-year-olds took a knee before the national anthem, and unfortunately, some of the reaction to that was very, very negative. So we've seen this around the country. It's a divisive issue. It's kind of the sweet spot for Time to kind of explore all sides of it.
You talk about negative reaction, and there have been some pretty extreme accusations and claims made in response to Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. I want to play what Congressman Steve King said, suggesting why, potentially, Kaepernick is doing this. Let's listen.
He's undermining patriotism. I understand that he has an Islamic girlfriend that is his fiancée, and that this has changed him. He's taken on some different political views along the way. This is activism that's sympathetic to ISIS.
Sympathetic to ISIS. I mean, do we know how Kaepernick is responding to these claims?
I think he's, taking everything in stride. And the interesting thing about this discussion is when it first happened in late August, there was a lot of comments like that. And then you saw Colin Kaepernick, for example, engage with the military, engage with a former Green Beret named Nate Boyer, and they had a kind of a casual talk. They talked about all sides of the issue before the second preseason game in which Kaepernick protested. He changed it. He went from sitting to kneeling. And I think the kneeling gesture, which is more reverential, a sign of respect, as players will tell you, when a player gets hurt on the field, everybody kneels, has shifted discussion, made it a little less extreme, although you're still seeing some pretty hateful reaction to the folks who are doing this.
Yeah, not only sitting to kneeling, but from street clothes to doing it while in his 49ers uniform, which, of course, is a really important distinction. Do we know how long this will go on through the rest of the season, the rest of his career?
We don't know. We don't know. The recent incidents this week involving police shootings of unarmed African Americans will probably propel the protest further. The NBA season's coming up, and a few players have said they expect this kind of thing to happen as that season kicks off as we go into November. So it'll be really interesting and fascinating to see if this continues, but I don't think it's stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, and before we get to the basketball season, we've got games today, and in the wake of the deaths of Terrence Crutcher and of Keith Scott, I guess the expectation is that we'll see more people in the NFL join this movement.
I think that's a fair expectation. 3 players from Nebraska took a knee in a college game yesterday. So, and the Niners play the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seahawks are a team that have really explored this. They've linked arms as a form of unity, but they have players on this team who have spoken out against what's going on. So that'll be one game to look at today. Would be Seattle and San Francisco. Later this afternoon.
Sean Gregory, it is a compelling cover and an amazing cover story. Thanks so much for talking with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.